What's going on, everybody? This is MVP, Most Valued Podcast, a podcast embracing the American football culture. I'm Terrence Owens.
And I'm TJ Richardson. Here on MVP, we'll be giving you the real and raw conversations from current and former professional athletes and coaches. This podcast is dedicated to European players and coaches wanting to develop their knowledge of the game and culture. If you're an American football fan, this podcast is for you. Something to prove. Today we want to talk about the importance of consistency in sports and in life. For me, this is probably one of the most interesting and important topics when it comes to football. Consistency is everything. I've always been told through coaches, teachers, anybody that being consistent is the most important thing. It's more important than having one good game or one good grade or doing it one time. You can do it once. That's okay. You can do it twice. That's cool too. But unless you can do it consistently on the constant basis, every time you perform, then it doesn't mean much. It doesn't stand for much. Terrence, I know that being a quarterback, I'm sure consistency was something that all your coaches drove in your mindset. Yeah. Tell us about it.
So, yeah, definitely. Being a quarterback, all I used to hear was, you have to be consistent to be able to, to play, for an example, to play or to prove yourself. Again, that's why we say something to prove. If you can be consistent, for an example, being consistent builds trust, in coaches. So if you are consistent, like you can have that trust, in coaches because, again, like you just said, you can have, you can do one great play, one huge play, and then the next play, you miss a tackle and then they score. So it's like that play didn't even matter anymore. Exactly. So if you can stay consistent, that builds like a second nature, and then going to fundamentals with being consistent. If you can, stay consistent on the fundamentals, the little things, the things that you were taught when you were, a child, a kid, like when you first started, like if you are a receiver, catch and tuck the ball. That's like the smallest fundamental thing that you can ever, keep in mind. If you can keep that in mind, this is why you have the great wide receivers in the NFL now, because they catch the ball and tuck. They do the little things, efficiently, very great. And that's all about, being consistent. But going back to me as a quarterback, that was probably like everything. Almost all the time I always heard consistent. Because, again, like I told you before, we had a two-quarterback system, in college. So I had no choice but to be consistent just to even be on the field, to even have to even have an opportunity to play. So it got to the point where, I try to perfect my craft, let's say in practices off the field with, by myself or just with, other guys just practicing just to get myself on the field, to give myself an opportunity to play. So it's definitely important.
And I mean, that's a big thing. Like that's the key, what Terrence was just saying about putting in the work outside of the field, outside of just practice. Like in order for you to be consistent, you have to put the work in. I read a quote last week that said, like, don't do something till you get it right. Do something till you can't get it wrong. Exactly. Like it's important to really put the time in outside of the time that you have to be there. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to perform great on game day, but you got to grind in the dark. You got to put in the work during spring ball, during winter conditionings. You got to put in that work in the gym when nobody's there. Be outside practicing your footwork, practicing your technique. It doesn't just come overnight. It comes through consistently working at your craft every day, like putting that real work in. And I think a lot of people fall short in that aspect. There's a lot of players that can go out and have one good game or come out and make one play during a drive or during a series, but can't consistently do that. That's in my experience. That's the quickest way to get you on the bench, is not being able to do that.
Exactly. And again, like going to high school, we were taught. We were always known for like our speed. Like we had a good track and field program, and so that translated to football. Because basically all of our track athletes played football as well. So. We were big on like speed and big on like, quick feet. So we had the ladder drill. Let's just say the ladder drill. So every time we did a ladder drill, if we would like trip over the drill or like, ruin the ladder, mess the ladder up, we always had to do 20 push-ups. And that constantly like basically build, consistency with quick feet and great feet, just because we didn't want to do the push-ups anymore. You know what I mean? So it was like the coach would say, "Don't hit my ladder," don't hit my ladder, and shit. Now we're doing an icky shuffle, we moving through it because again, he's pushing us and saying, quick feet, move your arms, fundamentals. Yeah. But at the same time, as we're trying to, move quick, you're still making these mistakes, hitting the ladder. But again, those push-ups add up. So
yeah, definitely.
Again, over time, it's like, again, it becomes, second nature. It becomes like, just like you say, like you keep doing it until you can't make that mistake. So I was always, big on, being consistent on my feet work. So this is when I'm training, these athletes now out here in Europe, or the quarterbacks out here in Europe. I try to teach consistencies and with that feet work because as a quarterback, again, like, arm strength, being accurate is very important. But again, you got to have great feet, at the end of the day. So
definitely. And consistency isn't all physical. Like consistency is a lot of mental.
Mental as well, yeah.
Yeah, football is, they say, is 90% mental, 10% physical. Like the being mentally tough, being consistent mentally is a huge thing. Like you'll not want to get up for the workout. Your body can get up for the workout. You may be a little sore, but it's that mental like drive you have to get yourself up to like, I need to go to the gym. I need to get that workout. And your body, it's going to be sore, but that doesn't mean you can't work and you still can't put that time in. I think a lot of people who don't succeed in athletics or in a lot of areas of life just don't have the mental toughness and the consistency mentally to push themselves and drive themselves to be better. Like you need to be able to, especially in football, like film is a big part of.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that.
It's a big part of football. You got to be able to study your opponent, know what they're doing. Terrence, you could elaborate on more than me because I know you watch a lot of film. Yeah. Like how does that mental part of football really come into play?
And again, like you hit it dead on the spot. Again, when we're talking film, about being consistent, again, as a quarterback, you are basically groomed. Again, as a quarterback, you have to know more than everybody else as far as like other positions because you are responsible for, that receiver getting the ball. You're responsible for, let's say you have a linebacker blitzing, from the edge. It's your fault if you get sacked because, again, you have to know when they're blitzing or know when that right tackle, me being left-handed, that right tackle, my blind side, is going to make that call. You know, so like watching film, you have to be consistently watching film to actually know, what is going to happen when it happens. Because if you don't, again, like I said earlier, the coaches – it's a trust thing. It's like collateral. It's like, what have you done for me lately? Like if you can build consistency with a coach, it's like, hey, we're just going to try the next guy out at the end of the day. And again, I think with film, and not just even with quarterbacks, I think in all positions, you have to be able to study your opponent, to not even just your opponent, study yourself on film, see what you did wrong. See, let's say you're a DB, that back pedal you opened up, maybe you should have opened up a little bit more, not so much. You know, like these are little things that you have to consistently like do to improve your game at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. For me, being a DB, being consistent is everything. Like that's literally everything because as a DB, you get beat. There's times where things happen and you get beat. But even if you get beat for an 80-yard play, the next play you can't slack on your footwork. You can't slack on your technique because you'll get beat again. Like you got to be able to, as a DB, you got to have a short memory. You know what I mean? Whether things go good, whether things go bad, you got to have a short memory and be able to every play put on the same performance and that same level of work. When you step on the field, people don't care about what's going on outside of the field.
True.
People don't care about what's going on with your family, what's going on with you financially. People care about the product that you put on the field.
Exactly.
So every time you step on the field for every play, I know me at DB when I line up, I'm like, yo, my footwork has to be crisp. I have to be able to read the play, be able to read my opponent, be able to get in my back pedal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are things that, especially for a DB, like if you don't have your footwork and your back pedal and your technique down, there's no way you can play the game because things are happening too fast where you can't be thinking about your feet or about what's happening there.
Exactly.
You got to really be focused and zoned in into the game. You can't have your mind somewhere else. And I know for a quarterback, it's the same thing. You can't have your mind. It's not the time or the space to have your mind anywhere else but on the field, but focused.
I was also told or taught, I should say, that in order to be accountable, like for your teammates, it's about like being consistent. So like, let's say if I'm being consistent, you don't have to worry about, you know, what I'm going to do. Like it's not a damn, I hope he has a good game today, or I hope, you know, he comes ready to play. Because if you are a consistent guy, it's like, hey, I know he's going to do his job. I know he's ready to play. So it's all of, I think that plays a lot into, like, you know, again, like a trust factor or accountability, like when you are consistent, you know. And again, going back to the you know, off the field, like just drills, like doing things on your own, like when the coaches aren't looking. I think this is when it's the most important, because again, you can be, you know, consistent in practice because you want to be the starting guy. You want to be the guy. So you're trying to prove to the coaches that, you know, hey, I'm this guy. I'm doing everything consistent. You know, even with the grades. You know, let's say with schoolwork, you have to be, you know, consistent with school as well. Like, but again, though, like off the field, you know, doing things when the coaches aren't seeing you. This is when it really matters. You know, it really matters during that time. Yeah,
and when you go to tryouts or you go to combines, I know Terrence can speak to this too, like it's not good enough to do something good one time, because once you do something good one time, they're going to be like, okay, let's put them up against somebody better and let's see if you can do that again. And that's what they're going to do during these trials, through these combines, during practice, through anything. They're just going to, when you do good, they want to know, can you continue to do it good? So they're going to keep putting you against better opponents or in difficult situations or in difficult, just to see, like, are you going to crack? Are you going to break? Is your technique, are you mentally sound? Are all these things consistent? Because for them, they need you to be able to play 4 quarters, maybe 5 quarters, because you might go to overtime and you need to be every single play at that same level. So don't think like, okay, I go to a combine, I ran one good 40, or I did good on individuals or one-on-ones one time. No, because that's just to get you in the door.
Exactly,
like that's not enough.
Exactly. And then, like, you know, this was the other day, you know, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Let's just use Aaron Rodgers as an example. You know, one of my favorite quarterbacks. But again, let's talk 2-minute drills. You know, he is one of the quarterbacks that I can say who is very consistent on being able to put his team in a position to get 3 or 6, you know, easily, because he has earned that reputation, you know, to say that he's a consistent guy that's going to lead his team down that 2-minute series, that 2-minute drive. And again, I think it goes back down to the practice off the field and the studying the film. And if he does it over and over and over again, it becomes a second nature. So he doesn't really have to. It's no pressure to even think about, wow, like, damn, should I do this or that? It's like, it's more natural. It becomes a natural thing. It's like muscle memory. Let's say, you know, you're lifting weights, you're working out. If you do it on a constant, you know, consistent basis, it becomes natural for you. It's not like, let's say you do like 10,000 pull-ups. If you do 10,000 pull-ups every day, it's not going to be any difference if you do 2,000 and 10,005 pull-ups. It's not going to change, because this is what you've been doing. So you can gain, you can incline, like, you know, when you're you know, being consistent. I think that, again, it's very valuable to be consistent. And when we're talking American football, because again, this is you buying trust, you know, earning trust from your coaches, because again, if you're not consistent, it can be the littlest level to the top level, high school, college, you know, professional. If the coaches don't trust you or you're not consistent, it's like, we can't play you.
Yeah,
you could be a good person, you know, you be a good person, you know, great student, but at the same time, it's like, hey man, I'm sorry, but like, you're a great kid. Don't get me wrong, you know, great heart, but I can't have you on this field right now, because I don't know what you're capable of doing. You're up and, you know, you're here one play, you're hot one play, you're cold the next play. Like, you got to keep that even, you know, that balanced level. So
and your highlight tape, that doesn't say who you are. That just says who you are for certain plays. Because when it gets down to highlight tapes, get people interested, but then coaches will bring you into the office and say, well, let's go through this whole film. Let's go through the whole game. Especially if you're in college or practice, rarely do you ever spend a lot of time on the great plays. It's more so the bad plays where you messed up on, where people really take time to critique it and really talk about that. So don't think because you have a good highlight tape that you're automatically a consistent player. People want to know, what are you doing first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, first down, second down, whenever the situation comes around, like, what are you doing then? Because highlight tapes, a lot of people get really focused on highlight tapes. And they think, oh, that's a great player because on his highlight tape, he was amazing. And you think, well, why isn't this player in the league? Or why aren't they doing this? Or why aren't they doing that? It's because when it's not those highlight plays, other times, they're taking plays off or they're not consistent or they're not doing those same things. Like, that's a super important thing. People, the young athletes or athletes anywhere at any level, any age, like, don't rest on your laurels. Like, don't think just, okay, because I made a good play here, that's enough. Like, people are going to judge you based on your full body of work, what you do from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, definitely. Like, going back to, like, the highlight tapes, you know, obviously a highlight tape is to highlight your best plays, you know, at the end of the day. So you can't base consistency on your highlight. Just like TJ just said, you know, you can – you know, you have a great highlight tape, but then let's say that coach wants to break down just one individual game where you watch the whole game. So now you make that mistake and they want to know what happened on this 3rd and 8 play. Like, you know, they don't care you just threw a touchdown or, you know, you caught a touchdown, whatever the case is, whatever position. They want to know, like, why you made a mistake on something simple. You know, for an example, let's say a cover 2, me as a quarterback, you know, cover 2, right? You know, 2 safeties have the field. They're responsible for half of the field. Obviously, the middle of the field should be there. Why didn't I throw the post in the middle of the field versus throwing it to the flat? You know, so let's say I make that wrong read. They want to know why I made that wrong read versus me throwing a touchdown the previous play. You know, so it all like, again, it comes down to that being you have to be that balanced player. You can't be hot one day, cold the next day, and you know, it's.
And consistency affects you in all areas of your life. Like we said, like, consistency is not just, okay, physically being consistent, but also being mentally consistent in all aspects of your life. And it doesn't just come down to, okay, yeah, I work out every day. Okay, yeah, I watch film every day. Okay, but are you also taking the proper nutrition and having the proper diet? Because that also plays into effect of how you're going to perform. It's not one of these things where you can just take and say, if I consistently work out plenty of times, I'm going to be a great player. Or if I just watch film, that's going to be a great player. No, it's the film, it's the work and the technique, and it's also what you put inside your body, like these supplements or these nutritional things you're eating or the diet that you have, that plays an effect. So you can't eat a salad one day and then eat, you know what I mean, 3 pounds of ribs the next day and then think you're on a healthy diet.
Expect to believe in your mind that you are, you know, having a healthy, consistent diet. It's not consistent.
That doesn't work. How many diets that you see that people are on a diet for a week or two, lose a couple pounds, and then when they offer, they gain all that weight back and more. Like that's essentially what we're talking about right now. Like, consistency is not doing something for a short period of time. It's a lifestyle. It's something that you really commit yourself to doing. Every aspect of your day, of your lifestyle, is committed to being the best you can be in all aspects. And that's something you have to do every day. And it's not easy. Like, it's not easy. People think like being a good athlete or being good at in any aspect of life, these people who are Hall of Famers or who are CEOs, these things don't come by accident. Right. They don't just happen just because they just walking around doing anything and it worked. Like, they had to train. They had to get themselves there through years or months or decades of really putting in hard work. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. And not all the time does it pay off. Sometimes people put in work for a long time and it doesn't always pay off. You don't always make it to the NFL. But if you don't, I can guarantee if you aren't consistent, then you have zero chance of making it.
Yeah, and again, some advice that I would give, you know, you young athletes out there, even if you don't know, like, how to be consistent or where to start, I mean, always start small. You know, like, let's talk about, you know, trying to build yourself up to be strong, physically strong. You know, you can always start off in the weight room, not a lot of weight, but just do the small things, just do small steps, do small reps, you know, and just gradually build yourself up to become consistent. But again, so you have to start somewhere at the end of the day. But again, I would advise you guys to not just go so, like, let's just say to the extreme. Let's just, if you're a beginner, don't go to an extreme workout and then expect to be consistent in that extreme workout. Build yourself up to become, you know, consistent, you know, in something great.
Yeah, and like I said, it's tough. It's not easy. Like Terrence said, you got to start somewhere. Like, don't feel bad because it's like, all right, my ladder drills don't look too good or my bench press is really weak. Like, everybody had to start from some level. Like, don't really worry about the outside opinion about what other people are doing. You got to focus on you. You got to work on, like what you need to get better. Like, all right, I got to start here with this, but you know what? I'm gonna get better. I know when I went to my first like high school combine workout, like the Spark Combine, Nike Spark Combine, and National Shoeman's Underclassmen Combines. Like I went there and got on the bench, and I couldn't even do 225 or 185 like one time. Yeah. And I was like really disappointed in myself. I was like, man, I thought I was at a better place, and I really couldn't. Fast forward to the time of my pro day, then I go up and put up 18 reps at 225 on the bench. And I just remembered where I started at. I remember like, oh man, I was super weak. And I remember all the other guys at the combine in high school were putting it up 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Yeah. Now fast forward into the future. Now we at the combine, at the pro days, and I'm #1 ranked DB when it comes to bench press. At 18 reps. So it doesn't matter where you start. You gotta run your race.
Exactly. I remember when I was in high school, the most I lifted was like 195.
Yeah.
Like I was a success at 185. Like let's say 5 times. And that was like my senior year. Yeah. So for me to get 205, like with a spot, but 195 by myself, I felt like I accomplished something. Yeah. But obviously, like someone can say, "Hey, you weak, T.O." Yeah. But at the same time, for me, I'm like, "Hey, this is where I'm at. Hey, I feel great." But then, like, for me as a quarterback, my pro day, I did 225 15 times. That's and crazy. I didn't even have to bench press. But like I trained like, during my pro day training though. Like I didn't even have to do it. But since I was in train mode, like I was able to hit it. So to not even be able to do 225 in high school, you know what I mean? To do it 15 times at the pro day. And then like I had receivers, in my class, they was hitting 225 8 times, 7 times. So and I'm, again, slim body, but I was, I got strong.
And a QB.
Yeah, and a QB. They say, hey, Terrence, you going to bench press? You don't have to if you want. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. Shit, I trained for it. Why not? So, again, it's all about consistency, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah, so fellas out there, put in the work, be consistent, stay focused, and, do what you got to do. You're consistent, you'll get where you want to go.
Today on MVP, we have a special guest with us. Another standout wide receiver in the Canadian Football League who is currently playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He spent some time with the Atlanta Falcons and the Miami Dolphins as well as the Pittsburgh Power in the AFL. He went to the University of Toledo with me, another great friend of mine, Kenny Stafford. Let's get to college a little bit, though. Like, tell me about, because, again, you were there before me. Tell me about your freshman year. Tell me about your freshman year. I want to hear it like this. Tell me about your freshman year until your senior year, like the difference or the transition that you made.
Well, transitions I made, man. So freshman year, I was kind of like the big shot on campus. I was a big-time recruit. Nick Moore, who happened to be the senior receiver, another Toledo alum, played in the league, played in Canada for about 10 years. That would happen to be like a big brother figure to me. He grew up down the street from me in Westerville. So like I knew Nick from when I was 6, 7, 8, and 9. Like I knew him way back in the day, him and his brother Lance. So when I got an offer from there, I looked up the roster, I realized it was there. Kind of always had Toledo kind of circled. So Coach Amstutz was my first head coach. He pretty much was like, hey, Kenny, you're going to start as a true freshman. You're going to get your number from high school. You're going to learn from Nick. Nick's going to graduate, and you're going to be the next kid from Columbus. Yeah. Be the next kid from Columbus that is put on, because before Nick, we had like 4 or 5 straight kids from Columbus that used to ball. So it started off with Lance Moore, who went to the league, then Steve Odom, who should have went to the league. He was a dog. They were both from Columbus. Then Nick was that next generation, and then I was supposed to be after Nick. So it was literally like 4 or 5 years we had a dog receiver from Columbus go to Toledo. So I pretty much, just experienced college, man. Like Nick was my big bro. He knew everybody. Gave me I had the free bar tab at every bar. Like I was able to just live.
You had your way there, basically.
You start as a freshman, kind of just learn the ropes. That's like I was like, man, I'm about to just sit back, learn, man, and this is gonna be cool, man. So ended up getting fired.
Yeah, so that's what I want to ask you. So talk to me about the transition between the coaches, because again, you had him, as a coach, basically telling you the world is yours, and then you have a whole new coaching staff, come in. That was Coach Beckman, and he the one that brought me there as well. So talk to me about how talk to me about that. How you
So
felt
like
about that?
The transition at first, I mean, I really wasn't too worried about the transition. I was one of the few freshmen that I started.
Mm-hmm.
We had Stephen Williams, who ended up going to the league, and then
Yeah.
we had another senior, Robin Bailey, and then we had like Tim Cortazzo come in that were returning.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a returning class. I got the most PT besides Steve out of all two of them. I was the only Robin was, I think, a redshirt junior at the time, going into his senior year. So I was like, oh man, I got promised. Beckman came in. He was talking about running 4 wide, bringing Oklahoma State's offense in there. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, because when I first got to Toledo, I'm 1-on-1, 7-on-7, I'm balling. I'm like, oh man, this is easy. And I'm going against seniors and juniors. They wouldn't let me go against the freshmen. When we do a little metabolics that we used to do, T.O.
Yeah.
I wasn't going with freshmen or sophomores. I was going against Dez, Herbert, Barry
Church.
Yeah. I was going against the dogs, and I'm getting open. So when Beckman came in, I'm like, all right, cool. But I didn't like his every year Beckman tried to bring in a receiver to replace me, to put me on the bench.
Yeah.
And I made it an issue. No, that's not going to happen. So my sophomore to my senior year, T.O. can attest, was literally me time and again having to prove myself. Prove this, prove that. All right, we're bringing in another freshman. All right, Kenny has to battle him out. Okay, we bring in a transfer. All right, Kenny has to battle him out. It was never Kenny go play football. I've seen a lot of other players literally were been able to just walk in, coaching staff love them, and just give them the opportunity. I never got that opportunity. The little opportunities I did get, I capitalized on them.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I always knew, my mom always told me, because I came from a triple option offense in high school. So I'm used to not getting the ball.
Okay.
I think I had 60 catches in my high school career, maybe another 60 in college, all 4 years. Okay. I had Coach Beckman, Coach Amstuck, and then got Coach Campbell in the bowl game. So I had 3 head coaches. My offensive coordinators my freshman year was Chris Hedden. Then it was Matt Campbell for the remember, and then he got bumped up to stay the offensive coordinator. I had 3 receiver coaches. I had Coach Candle. I had Coach Black Nichols, T.O.
Yeah. Damn, I forgot all about him. Yeah, I forgot all about him.
Forgot about Coach Nichols.
Damn.
Remember, he left after our sophomore, after I met your freshman year.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Him and Coach Sat did. So then I
Damn.
had Coach Nichols, and then I had Coach Candle. So I literally had almost a different receiver, different coach almost every year in college. I never had a true consistent, we had a dog at receiver by the name of Eric Page, and he set out all the records. That was their guy. That's who they used. So literally our offense went through him. And then we had 2 dog running backs who always had a nice running back. So it literally was just either EP, someone had their day, where, EP was getting double coverage and, someone ended up making a play, putting us on the board, or our running backs took care of the game. For real,
a lot of people
we ain't really.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even think about that part of the game, that mental toughness that it takes to go through transitions and coaching staffs. Because when new coaching staffs come in, they have their mindset, their schemes, the players they recruited, people they want to, shine. So when you're not in that group or in that class and you got to get it the hard way, the mental challenges that you face throughout that is harder than the physical play on the field a lot of the times.
Yeah, and it was. I ain't gonna lie, I had a couple of dark nights, just cause why am I not why can I not play? Yeah. And then I get on the field, ball. I'm like, bro, why don't they respect? I never got the respect I deserved, and credit to them. Probably the reason why I'm still in the league, because I carry that with me. I still play with that fire. I still haven't got the respect that I need. I deserve for real. Just being able to formulate an 8-year career off of a guy that had 60 catches in college.
Yeah.
Not too many people are able to do that. Like, and it was just a testament. Like, like I had cool friends like Tio always in my ear, like, "Hey man, bro, you can play. Like, just wait for your opportunity." Yeah, Kenny, I know it's bad, but we winning. Like, I was a special teams captain as a senior. That was my role, and I find a way to gain some respect, make sure I am starting as a senior. So I mean, I did whatever I had to do, to continue to play.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how did you feel about that though? Like, just from a real perspective, like, how did it feel being a senior, being
Oh, it
the
sucked.
special teams
It
captain?
sucked.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it sucked because you want to be like, I came here to go to the league. Like,
Yeah.
I had 15 scholarship offers. Like, I turned down big schools to stay in the small school because I knew I had someone show me how to really be a pro or be a college football player.
Yeah.
The Toledo was a 2-hour trip from Columbus, so my grandma could see me play every home game. It was an easy trip for her to see me play football because I mean that's my rock. So
Yeah,
I
it makes
needed her.
sense.
I mean, it's a blessing. She raised 7 kids. 2 of them ended up playing professional sports, and then I was her ace that she was raising. And I have the opportunity, so I wanted her to actually really see that, like being able to see her hard work, her the result of her hard work. So.
Oh, so Kenny, take us through. All right, your college career is over. You're getting ready to go to the pros. Take us from your last college game to the transition to the professional ranks. Like, how did it go? Like, what's the story?
Ended up winning a bowl game. Finished the season off correct. So it wasn't popular. I didn't have no agents blowing me up. So
Okay.
I had to do my own little recruiting.
Okay.
So one of my good friends got a DUI. Well, I'm glad he got it. I don't wish he got it now. I'm glad he got it because I wouldn't have found my agent. And his lawyer happened to be like his brother-in-law's like best friend. They went to Mount Union. He happened to be an NFL agent.
Okay.
On top of being a lawyer.
Okay, dope.
I call him. I pretty much tell myself, hey man, I can run every route. I'm gonna run 4.4 at pro day. I'm gonna weigh 205. Like this is this. Like I'm giving him the rundown.
Yeah.
He breaks down my film. He goes, man, you got something, man. You're gonna be able to play. So he ended up. I was still going to school because during my combine, like with my pro day training. So he sent me off to Kansas City. So the way I finessed it with the University of Toledo, so I could still get my scholarship check, was I took all online classes.
Okay.
You needed 12 hours.
That makes sense,
12
though.
credit hours. 12 credit hours you can be considered a full-time student. But I didn't have to, since football was over, I didn't have, winter conditioning, study table, none of that. So I could still get my scholarship check, my Pell Grant check, be in Kansas City training and still getting money. So I didn't have to worry about money because I had to pay. So I had to pay for my training. My agent was able to hook me up. He hooked up with our crib, but like my spending money, that was all me. My groceries, that was all me. Like any money I needed, I was through my Pell Grant and my scholarship checks. Thank God. So through training, I remember the first day of training, I'm with all this like 6 of us. They're like, actually, I'm training with David Garrett, T.O.
Oh, yeah, RIP. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Played corner at
I'm
Kansas
training
State.
with Rat.
Got shot.
Yeah, I'm training with Rat and his brother. His brother, Zoe. So Zoe's our trainer. So I'm training, and they're like, man, so we about to do our pre-test. They was like, man, so what's everybody run? I was like, man, I'm about to run 4.4. They was like, ah, yeah, right. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm letting y'all know I'm about to run 4.4 on a pre-test. Came through 4.45. So Zoe was like, your goal is to run 4.3 at pro day. So ever since then, I was programming in my head, Kenny, run 4.3. If I run 4.3 at 6'2", 6'1", 200 pounds, I'm gonna have teams come holler at me.
For sure.
They gonna
Hell
like,
yeah.
For sure.
Like they
No
gonna.
doubt.
So I get to pro day and I'm locked in. I'm feeling good. No, everything is everything. So I get to pro day and I realize Bruce Gradkowski is going to be throwing us the football. Like he's going to be our quarterback for our routes. And I've thrown with Bruce so many times because of Lance. So like I've been in Tampa with Lance, working out with Bruce here in Columbus. I know how Bruce throws the football. That shit's going to be cake. I'm like, oh. everything lining up. So I get to 225. I knock 10 out. I'm like, bet, I'm solid. I didn't want it. My goal was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the vertical jump, broad jump. I'm killing everything. So here comes the 40. And Adonis Thomas was also supposed to go about 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dez goes. There's a couple people go, and I get in my line. I'm like, all right, well, here it go. First one. I take off. I feel good. I look at the clocks and everybody, and they're like, oh, got a good time. So I hear 441. I'm like, okay, 441. First trip. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna get that 4-3.
Hell yeah,
so
441.
I walk back, take my shorts off. I'm in my tight, take my shirt off. I'm like, okay, I'm really about to take off. So I take off for my second one. Adonis comes back behind me, and we're like walking around. Bro, we both ran fast because Adonis was like, hey, Kenny, you was fucking rolling. Like, he was like, I seen you run. I'm feeling good, so I walk. Coach Candle come back to me. He goes, 439 to me, 441 to Adonis, and we kept moving. I was like, all right. And right when he said 439, I was like, all right, I got supreme confidence now.
Yeah.
We get to the route session. I'm crispy, bomb. And T.O. can attest, that is my forte. Running routes.
Yeah, and this is what I was telling you. I was talking to him earlier about that.
Like, running routes, playing football, like playing receiver, like, I do that. Like, I pride myself on I can run any route in the book.
Okay.
From any position, from any foot, any which way. You want me to turn over, you want me to speed cut it, you want me to stick it, how you want it, coach. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the route session, I'm killing it. Last route, they throw in post corner. I'm like, oh, yes. Bro, I run this post corner. I was like, how you want it? You want it 5 to 3? You want it 7 to what steps you want? They was like, yeah, 5, run up, 5 to the post, take 3 into the post, turn over your shoulder. Ball should be there. Man, I come out that break. Bruce throws this loft ball. I'm talking about like it's tearing. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. So I low-key had to dig out of it. Man, had to hit the little toe drag swag on the sideline to finish it off, bro. I felt so good. And after that, like 5, 6 teams, hey, can you take our test? Here goes our number. Da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
So my agent was like, hey man, you created some buzz. I'm like, oh shit. He goes, Kenny, like, I'm actually getting some calls. Like, there's some chance you might be, 7th round to, priority free agent. Just, from the numbers you did and all that. I'm like, cool. So like, I'm getting excited. Draft comes. He has a draft party. He has like 7 clients. I'm the only client that didn't get signed that night.
Mm-hmm.
Through the whole night, through the end of the whole draft weekend, all that.
Damn.
So like,
It's disappointing.
I'm disappointed. I'm stressed. I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I'm working out. It's like a week out from rookie minicamp. So, the draft weekend happens. They get like a little week and a half. Then it's all rookies come in for minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rookie minicamp. So the Atlanta Falcons called me. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, we have a tryout. Oh, the tryout player. Pretty much almost a camp body for rookie minicamp.
Right.
Okay.
T.O. can
I was about to say that's where I was with the Steelers. I was a camp body with the Steelers. That shit was crazy. I know exactly that whole situation.
Yeah. So going into rookie minicamp, I was like, man, I ain't got nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
The receiver coach happened to know my uncle. My uncle's Chris Carter, so they all know each other. So I'm like, all right, bet. So he's seeing like, oh, man, this kid could play. And I'm turning heads, and the quarterback happened to be Dominic Davis from ECU.
Mm-hmm.
And we automatically clicked day one. I'm talking about. He was like, bro, every time I look up, man, I'm throwing to you. He goes, man, keep getting open. I'm like, all right, bet. So what I think what sealed it for me in Atlanta, we're in Skelly, and they have this like little route. They have this snug split, and you read the safety. It's either a 15-yard hook or you take the split down the middle. And I'm like, man, fuck, I'm taking the split. Like, regardless, I don't care what the safety's doing. I'm running. I'm showing.
It's only right.
I already know.
Man, he happened to take like one sit at like 14. I just put my head down, and the quarterback just launched it. I got the safety over top of me. I got my DB underneath me, and he like drops it in the middle of them, and I'm running, and I have to like late hands like baseball slide to catch it in between two people. Everybody was like, "Oh!" That was the last practice on Sunday. I'll go up to the offensive coordinator. I'm like, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate you. You bringing me in here. He goes, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." I signed my official contract on Mother's Day to go to the Falcons.
Okay.
So I'm calling my mom. I'm ecstatic. I go through training camp. End up being the last cut in Atlanta.
Oh, dang.
So, it was the fourth preseason game.
Yeah.
The O lineman got hurt, have to release someone to sign an O lineman type of thing. So I'm thinking like, man, I gotta I made it training camp. Like I gotta someone gotta call me. No one called me. T.O. remembers this. I ended up coming back to Toledo to graduate.
Yeah.
And after I leave the Falcons, I come back to Toledo to graduate. So I'm at Toledo. I'm still working out. I do pro day again.
Okay.
So I do pro day back to back. I redid pro day. I didn't run any routes. I think I benched and just ran routes. Still got a little buzz, got a little something, but nothing. So my agent was like, "I got this arena team. If you want to, go to the arena league, get some film." He goes, "Kenny," because he's like, "Kenny, you need to play football. Like, you don't have any film. Like, you need to get film." I'm like, all right. So graduate from Toledo in May, get my degree. I had to take 20 credit hours in a semester to get my degree. So I took 20 credit hours. I think it was 7 classes that semester.
Okay.
Which is, the average is 12 to 15. So I took 5 over that to graduate. So I ended up graduating, got my degree in communications, pack up everything, head out to Pittsburgh, play for the Pittsburgh Power.
Okay.
Yeah, and we was talking about that a little earlier too. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
The Arena League it's cool. Like it's like backyard football. That's how I describe it.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're like in a little arena. You just out there just playing football, man. Playing smear to queer. That's what you're playing out there. Like,
what was that feeling though? Like, how was that feeling? Just to for an example, not having those pads on and then being able to get that opportunity again, to put on those pads. I know it felt good that regardless if it was arena, because I was in the arena for 4 games, and then I ended up leaving. So tell me how that feeling was for you.
Honestly, it felt amazing just to see your name on the back. Like when I got my because they had to try out for the arena team, like a 2-day tryout, and they were like, "Yeah, we're signing you." Like I killed the workout, like I murdered it. So they were like, "Oh yeah, we're signing you." So I'm there, and just being around, I had Jordan Jefferson was my quarterback. So Jordan Jefferson, who was the quarterback for LSU, which is whatchamacallit Jefferson's older brother that just got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings.
That's his brother.
So
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's his older brother.
Okay.
So Jordan Jefferson, the quarterback at LSU, when not Dwayne Bowe, but what was his name? Shepard. When Russell Shepard and all of them were there, Jordan Jefferson was the quarterback. So I was like, damn, this dude played at LSU. He in the Arena League. Like, oh, we straight. Like, there's some people that fall through the cracks. You feel me? Like
Pittsburgh Power, there wasn't no slouch. Like Pittsburgh Power, they was solid.
Like I was like, okay. So we good. So I get. It's the first game of the season. My girlfriend's there, my agent's there, his kids and his wife. And I was like, all right, Kenny, this is your opportunity. I want to see if I really had it. First game, I go off. I have my first 100-yard season ever. 100-yard game. Had like 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. Should have had 3. The quarterback threw a late ball across the middle. Ended up getting picked, but I'm wide open. He even said, no, that's my fault. So I was like, after my second touchdown, I'll never forget this. I yell up to my agent, man, get me the hell out of here. Like, get on the phone. Like, you said I needed to get film. But boy, I just gave you 6 for 115.
You got your one game of film. You out of there.
Your bag then. You was in your
bro,
feeling yourself.
I'm feeling myself, bro. Because,
I
I mean, my first touchdown took a boy up top for 40 in the Arena League on a go.
Yeah.
Ran into the wall, held onto the ball.
Crazy.
So I was feeling myself. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in the zone.
Now everybody needs to know, like a quick side note, like an arena field is not 100 yards for everybody that doesn't know arena football. Arena football is like a 50-yard field. So to get over 100 yards in arena ball is a different kind of scenario. That's a lot of yards. It ain't that much space to get that many yards. So it's a big thing.
Yeah, no. So yeah, my first one, I'm turned. I'm like, oh yeah. So the game finished. He's like, man, good game. You know, me and my girl, we go out. We had the day off the next day. We had practice the following day. So I get a phone call from 514. It's a Montreal area code. I'm like, what in the heck? I answer it. It's the assistant GM, Joey Abrams. He goes, hey, Kenny. You know, we saw your film, we were wondering if you got an hour and a half to get to the Pittsburgh airport to catch this flight. We're going to fly you up for a rookie mini camp, another tryout. We're going to bring you in for the weekend, and if you make it, we'll send you home to come grab your stuff and then come have you report back to training camp.
So you only played one game with Pittsburgh Power?
One game in arena.
Okay.
Yeah, game. Only played one game. I was one and done. So I call it my one and done.
But that's what's up though, for real.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. So I get there. I'm like, it's another tryout. So I packed a 3-day. Like, you remember, he like literally was like, you got to go. Like you got to get to the airport. So I literally leave all my stuff in my apartment, like shoes, clothes, anything that I just needed for that 3 days. I just took and just got on the plane and didn't even think twice. Just got on it.
Was that tryout in Canada or was that in Florida? Because you remember I went to. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this was the actual. You know, when you went to the tryout and then you got the tryout and then you came to rookie training camp.
Yeah.
And then if you made it from rookie training camp, you went to the big camp.
Okay. I got you.
So I'm going to the rookie mini camp. So I'm at before. On the team. So it's me and my cousin. So me and which is my Uncle Chris's son. We didn't really grow up together, but it's family. And I was like, man, how dope is this? You get to play with your actual cousin.
Right.
So it was just me and him, like shoulder to shoulder. Like we really don't know each other like that, but we got each other's back because we family. Like we good. So I'm actually balling now. Like I'm a rookie, a veteran, end up getting hurt in training camp. I end up taking the spot, and I actually end up balling. So going into preseason the game one, I'm a starter. I'm like, oh, man, I think I'm about to make this team, yo. Like, I'm starting. All I got to do is, do my thing. So that 2 days before the game. Now, remember, I told you I only brought 3 days worth of clothes. Obviously, I made it through rookie mini camp. At the rookie training camp, got signed, got 3 days still worth of clothes. So like, I'm asking them, like, man, can y'all get in? By the way, rookies don't get paid in training camp in the CFL.
Okay, so you struggling right
Didn't
now.
tell me that. Didn't tell me that.
Finessed you.
I left a paying job. I was getting paid. My rent was taken care of. I was getting paid in Pittsburgh. I left a paying job to come try out again. So I'm pissed at the organization because y'all told me only bring 3 days worth of clothes, and now I'm out of boxers. I don't have any money to really do laundry.
Damn.
And I'm starting as a rookie.
Jeez.
Like, I'm low-key feeling some type of way. So they're like, all right, man, we'll give you like $20 to get boxers. I was like, $20, bro? Like, that's gonna give me one pair of boxers.
Right.
Man, they was being tight out there. I see.
They got bread. Tell them stop playing. Come off that bread.
Yeah. So they take me to they take me and my cousin to Walmart. Take me and my cousin to Walmart, and we're going to get dropped off in the front of campus. We're going to do some extracurricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
So we chilling by the gazebo. We in Canada. Everything's completely legal. So we're in Canada. We're sitting there. We hear a golf cart. So, we play it cool. We toss it off to the side. We just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And the assistant general manager is like, we told you guys not to do this on campus. Da, da, da. Makes a whole big ordeal. Like, big ordeal. I'm talking about no one's around us. It's 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually being respectful because we're on the edge of campus. Like, we're by, like, if it was Toledo TO, we over by, basically Carter, Carter Park, Carter Field. Like we're away from everything.
Oh, gotcha.
Like,
I got you.
We're not in the mix of no one. We can see everyone coming. Like we're on the edge of campus.
Mm-hmm.
Man, assistant GM come out hollering, da da da. He takes it to the head coach. Head coach happened to be, remember Hawkins from Colorado? He's my head coach.
Okay, damn.
So when we stopped Colorado.
Yeah, whooped their ass. We whooped their ass. That's what I was telling John. That we whooped their ass bad.
I'm talking about we put hands on them, bro, and I let him know because when he was my head coach, I was like, oh yeah, like I played against you. He goes, where you go? I was like, Toledo. Like we mud stomped y'all, and then you was in the press talking bad about your players.
Yeah,
like so. He's my head coach. So fast forward to this situation. So he's like, you guys are such bad people and da-da-da. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, bro, you don't even know me. Like, I'm defending myself right now because I'm feeling some type of way about the clothes situation. I'm already out here. I'm not getting paid. And then you want to sit here and try to say I'm a bad person? Like, nah, bro, you going to hear me. So I guess he heard me. Benched me and my cousin. Yeah, he benched me and my cousin to the fourth quarter. So I'm starting, and now boom, I'm like, man, Kenny, you gotta make something work. I get in there, fourth quarter, first play, make a dude fall off the line, 75-yard touchdown. I'm like, all right, I'm safe, bro. I scored 75-yard touchdown, make a dude fall off the line. I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, get cut.
Damn.
I get cut, so I have to go back to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to play in the Arena League. I was like, man, I got enough film in Montreal. Everybody's wondering, like, bro, and my cousin, they kept my cousin.
Okay.
My cousin didn't do nothing. Kept my cousin, they cut me. I think they kept my cousin because of the name, because my cousin really wasn't who he was up there until that following year when he finally got his shot.
Yeah, he balled out.
They kept him on practice roster. They let me go.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm screwed. I'm like, well, football's over, bro. Like, so I go back home. I start working a job, working 9 to 5.
Is this when you went back to Columbus?
Yeah, I went back to Columbus.
Was this when you was training with me when I was doing my pro day training? Is that the time? Okay.
Exactly. You remember?
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
I even go up to. I think I even go up to Toledo with you for your pro day that year.
Yeah. Because we was training together.
So I came back to Columbus. No, that was 2013. So this was the year before I started training with UTO. I came back in 2014.
Okay.
2013. I'm back in Columbus. I'm chilling, working a job. I get my agent blows my phone up. I'm like, man, whatever. Don't answer it. I go on my lunch. I call him. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? He goes, hey, man, the Miami Dolphins just called me, and they're working out 6 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go? I'm like, man, that's a free trip to Miami. Like, I know some people in Miami. Hell yeah, man, book it.
It's a no-brainer right there.
I ain't taking it serious or nothing. Like, what?
You're not taking it serious.
Like, I'm thinking bro, they working out 6 receivers. Like, they ain't about to pick me up.
Okay,
I'm going down there for the free trip.
Okay.
I'm going to Miami.
So win-win, basically.
For the weekend. Well, I'm going to Miami for the weekend, T.O.
Mm-hmm.
My homeboy B.J. Cunningham just got drafted down there, so he got a crib.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to stay at the hotel. I got a place to stay.
Yeah.
Y'all just come pick me up from the hotel when you need. I'm going down there to party. I'm about to go hang out. like I said, I thought football was over.
Mm-hmm.
So, mind you, I haven't been really working out either when I was back at home because I'm working a 9 to 5, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to work 8 hours and then go work out after. Like,
Right.
you don't want to do that.
You mentally drained for real.
Man, you don't want to do it. So, I get to Miami. Man, it's like 7 receivers. I'm like, all right, bro. They got 1 contract left. I'm like, all right, bro. Whatever. So, go out there. We run 40s. Man, I run my first one, and I see all the coaches look at their watch. I'm like, either I ran super slow or I ran super fast. One or the other. I don't know what it was.
What you run?
So we go. I have no idea. Not to this day. No, I was like, bro, it's either slow or fast. I was like, I don't care, man. We get to the route. I'm feeling good. I'm like, damn, bro, you still got it. Like,
right.
This feels good. Like, no, it's just like it feels good to be back out here.
Mm-hmm.
Just running some routes, just dusting the cleats off.
Right.
So, assistant GM comes in, he goes, all right, we're going to meet with you guys, we only got 1 contract left. So they meet with one dude, they meet with another dude. I'm the third dude. They walk in. And they go, yeah, Kenny, we only got 1 contract left. We need, good players, new organization with new blood, we good people. I'm like, yes, sir. Like, I completely understand. I'm thinking about the time he go. He goes, so we're about to sign you. I was like, oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? You about to sign me for real?
That's love.
All right. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Another backstory. Remember, I still got a weekend's worth of clothes now. This is the second time this has happened to me that I went to a workout or a tryout.
At least you got experience, though.
Yeah. When I tell you, I am, I think, 3-0 with workouts of earning a contract.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, Miami, and Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Where I've earned a contract. Like, I've signed my name on a dotted paper when I'm a tryout guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've earned contracts. Not like, hey, man, you're a priority free agent. We're signing you to a contract. We see you at practice. No,
right.
Like, I'm like, hey, man, you got to show out. Then you might be able to get a contract.
Mm-hmm.
So, they signed me. I got a weekend's worth of clothes. So this is my second time me calling my mom, having her have to ship some clothes to me. She goes, you got to learn better. Like, you got to start packing.
Yeah, I would have been on your head, too. I would have been like, all right, you know better than bring 3.
But, you know me, I was just like, Mom, I don't want to keep all my eggs on one basket. Like, you never know in this football stuff. You could be there, gone tomorrow.
That is
like,
true.
I don't want to carry all that stuff. So I'm in training camp. I'm behind because they did rookie mini camp, they did OTA, they did the mandatory mini camp. So they didn't been around there for about a month and a half, 2 months. So they know the plays. Like, TL, the first day I saw the playbook was the first day of install, day 1. They literally signed me the day before training camp.
Oh, damn, yeah, you were very behind.
I'm behind. Man, I'm so far behind. Coach is like, man, we want to see you get on film. So first Skelly, he goes, I'm just going to tell you your route. I'm like, bet. What? You're taking all the thinking out the way. Hey, Kenny, go line up at number 1. You got an 18-yard comeback. I'm like, bet. First route, Miami. Break this dude off. Bam, bam, bam. Toe line catch. Bam. I'm like, well, I'm here. They were like, hey, man, you can play. So, like, I'm having everybody on notice. The general manager's coming up to me like, hey, man, you can do some things that not every receiver on our team can do. So, keep up the good work. Week 3, fail a drug test. So get into the program. I'm in the program. End up getting released.
Damn.
That's what happened. So I got released. So I'm back at home, man. I'm chilling. Like, God damn it, Kenny. This was your opportunity. You let it go. What the hell was you thinking?
Right.
Get another phone call 2 days later. Calgary Stampeders up in Canada. They had like 3 receivers get hurt. 3 receivers get hurt. They needed someone to come in and play now.
Right away, yep.
They brought me and another receiver in. This is the gangsterest thing a coach has ever done in my life to this day. He has both of the playbooks. Me and the receiver, we're standing side by side. He drops the playbooks both my number and the guy's number on them. Like, whoever will be winning. They were like, whoever learns to play faster is going to play for us. Straight like that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I would say that is fair for sure.
That's fair.
Like, no, that was just gangster. Like,
Yeah.
I've never had like a coach just straight up say, whoever learns this faster is going to play. Because
Right.
they're in mid-season. So I'm like, all right, well, you know me, T.O., I can learn a playbook in 2 days.
Hell yeah.
Oh, so I got there like on a Wednesday. I'm starting my first game that following Labor Day on a Monday. So as a rookie, I ended up playing 5 games as me coming in Calgary. 5 games. And it was the year on P Squad. We lost in basically like the NFC or AFC Championship, the game before the Grey Cup, which is called the Western Final. So we ended up we lose. So in about a year and a half, I played in Montreal, Pittsburgh, Miami, Calgary. So I played on 4 teams, 3 different leagues in like a year and a half.
Damn. Mm-hmm. Damn. So what is that feeling like? Like, did you ever feel like you were like stable just because you was playing?
I've never felt like I've had a home, which is also helped me out with my career. So I never get like too settled in a place, which is also like a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Not being able to be settled in a place.
Exactly.
But honestly, it's prepared me for, football. Like I said, not too many people go through that and push through that. It's given me the strength to know that I can continue to push because I've been through a lot. Like, not too many people know that about me. Like, saying like, damn, bro, like this, you did that in a year and a half. I'm talking about a year and a half. Like, that whole story was just a year and a half of my 8-year football career.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking about that year and a half, you said you played at 3 different levels: arena, CFL, NFL. How was the preparation for the different leagues? Did you prepare differently for each type of season, each type of league? Because they're a little different.
It's still football.
Yeah.
The difference I would say was you would put people put too much emphasis on just the game of football in the NFL. Like, remember T.O. how I used to say, man, football is the same game that you fell in love with. The ball just got bigger.
Yeah, literally.
A slant is still a slant.
It's still a
cover
slant.
Cover 2 is still a cover 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it's just the long 9-hour days. It's the mindset of it all.
Yeah, but I mean,
so once you get
the rules are a little different too, like between arena, like the size.
Yeah,
of the
but
field,
once again, like T.O., like, I'm smart, bro. Okay, I got unlimited waggle. Okay, I got 7 more yards of field. Okay, you can you just gotta learn the rule. Like, if you love football, like, I love to do this.
So was that a huge challenge for you, like to adjust to like the different rules? Because again, a year and a half, with different leagues, though, definitely. I mean, it's literally different rules in each of those leagues. So was it a hard adjustment for you?
No, because arena and CFL kind of incorporate with each other. So they kind of got the same rules. And the NFL is the same game we've been playing since we was little. I had the benefit of being around NFL players and stuff because my uncle was Chris Carter. So I've been around the game. So, like, learning the game, that's easy. So if I got to know, okay, it's 1 foot instead of 2 to be in bounds. Okay, now I have an unlimited motion when I used to not have an unlimited motion. So there's other things that, that I could, do.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, so like, yeah, you got little, things like, oh, man, I forgot we could do that. But as far as like the overall game, like, nah, like, because I love football. So I'm going to do anything. I'm going to be prepared.
I got you. So what's the mindset now for you? Being in the CFL now, from that time until now, like, how's your mindset changed?
Mindset hasn't changed, T.O., because I still haven't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish yet.
Okay, and what is that?
I wanted my 1,000-yard season. I wanted 10 years in the league and 1,000 yards.
Okay.
So this is how I put it. Like, if you go back and just look at my career, you're gonna be like, man, he didn't jump off like number wise like high school and college. My pro career, I want to have at least 5,000 yards in a career, 10 years in the league, 50 touchdowns.
Okay.
So that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my ultimate goal. I think I got like 2,600 yards. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'll like maybe 20 tugs, maybe 18 or 19. So I'm in striking distance of my stuff because I still got 3 to 5 years of playing football because I've never had major injuries. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always healthy. I've had blessings to where like I've only played a full season like twice, not because of injuries, but because they want to rotate somebody. They think someone's better. Having to deal with that, I still continue to deal with it, but
Yeah, yeah.
my perseverance. Ooh.
Yeah, I see you over there.
It's all good.
I see
I'm
you.
able to persevere
There
through
you go.
things. Like I was able to, like you can't tell me like I'm not good or this guy's better. Like,
Mm-hmm.
cause To can attest, bro. I work. Like it's not like I'm afraid of work. Like
So,
I work. I
so,
work on
so
my craft
let's talk.
every day.
Let's talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
tell me a normal day in your life. You say you train, you put in the work. You got the nutrition. Talk about your diet, your workout routine. Like, what's a day in your life? How does a training session go for you?
My training regimen is literally so. I run 5 to 6 days a week. I lift twice a week. Um, study the game. I still do flashcards for concepts. I still highlight. I still feel like I'm a rookie. Like I still approach the game like that
Like a
because
rookie, okay.
I yeah, because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it excites me to break down, man. How can I beat this cover two? Or instead of this time, me being on a +2 split, let me bring down a negative split and then spray to a +2 split. How does that affect that DB?
Right.
Because I mean, like I just love the game of football. Like
So are you more on the mental side of things or more on the physical side of things as far as your style of play? Like, do you feel like your best attribute is more mental, or
I'm
do
a I'm
you
a
think physically is where you really excel?
honestly, I think I'm a mixture of both. I'm not saying I ain't gonna run through your face, but if you piss me off, I'll hit you in your chin. Like
Okay,
that's the type of person I am. Like,
okay,
but my game was my feet.
Yeah.
Like my feet.
I agree. I agree.
Like no one had better feet than me. Like I used to make people fall in one-on-ones at Toledo. I really
Yeah.
wish I still had some of that film of me like dropping people, like putting people on the ground. People didn't want to guard me in one-on-ones. People didn't want to press me. Like it was just like, oh shit, like what Kenny's coming out here? What's going to happen? Because I can manipulate. I knew how to be a true receiver. Like if
okay.
I had
Yeah.
truly like a coach really like believe in me, like, hey Kenny, like go play football. We're gonna at least get you 7 to 8 targets a game. Oh my God!
Right. And then,
Like
Kenny, we talked through messaging the other day, and I was telling you that you one of the guys that I considered, very consistent, on perfecting, your craft. And I want you to tell me like why is that important? Like on being consistent on your craft.
because honestly, bro, you're gonna get slower. You're
Hmm.
gonna get older. Like there's gonna be someone like especially football. There's always the next person coming.
Yeah.
What's gonna separate you from that person?
Hmm.
Me is my consistent, my back to my basics,
Hmm.
my basic fundamentals.
Yeah.
Not trying to be too cute. Working on them because that's what's going to take over in the game. Because what you train over and over, like people ask me, like Kenny, how do you run a perfect route? By practicing running perfect routes.
Hmm.
Nope, my foot wasn't good enough. Nope, that wasn't it. Nope, and really be locked in, be
Right.
truly locked in to what makes you good and what makes you not so good. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? In the off season, instead of working on your strengths all the time, pull out all your weaknesses. All right,
Yeah.
my right foot's weak. All right, what can I do to prepare myself for my right foot? All right, when I get tired, I drop the ball 60% of the time.
Hmm.
Or when I do this is what happens because it all goes back to fundamentals. Because there will be a time in football, there will be a time where you're not going to be as fast,
Hmm.
you're not going to be as quick, you're not going to be able to jump as high. You know, there will be a time where you go against someone who is superior in athleticism to you. What's going to still separate you? Because I truly I like looking at the old school receivers. Because once again, I had paid attention to football at a young age because of my uncle.
Yeah.
So the true technicians were my favorite receivers. Like, my uncle was one of my favorite receivers. Randy Moss was my favorite receivers. People don't think he's a technician, but my uncle told me he's the smartest receiver that he's ever been around.
Okay.
So, being able to know that and watch him do what he does. I loved Jerry Rice. I loved Isaac Bruce. Those were, the true technicians, the ones that weren't flashy in athleticism, but got open and beat you like a drum. I like knowing, me personally, when I'm playing against someone, just to see the frustration just build up, just keep building up. Man, I can't do nothing. Man, I think I got him. So then I beat you with my technique over and over and over and over, just pure technique over and over again. Now, when you think you got my technique, then I can throw my athleticism around because now I know what you're waiting to jump on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I got you. So it's also a mind, being smart, knowing your opponent, really loving, I equate this when I train my young guys. I was like, I guarantee you put in that work to get that girl's phone number.
Right.
I guarantee you on, if she tells you her favorite color is pink, you're going to get her a pink this or something. You pay attention.
Yeah, you're going to remember that for sure.
That's the same thing in football. If you truly love it, you're going to remember it.
Definitely.
You ain't gonna have an opportunity to slip or, nah, bruh. If you love football, so really fall in love with your craft. That's the one thing I did. I truly fell in love with the process.
Okay. That's what's up. You got anything?
I mean, you had this long career so far, still not over. You still got years to go, and you seem like you've been through a lot of obstacles, a lot of experiences that have really shaped the person that you are today. If you had to say go back in time, the person you are right now, and talk to a younger version of yourself, what's some of the most important things that you learned throughout the process? What would you say to the younger you?
Believe in yourself. I've never truly, T.O. can attest to this. In college, I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't have that dog mentality. It took me to be around someone with a dog mentality for me to act like that. That's why in college, I would hang around Morgan Williams, Adonis Thomas, T.O., Cordell, my core group. And T.O. laughs because we literally were around each other a lot. It wasn't I took and T.O. doesn't notice, but yeah, man, I looked up to T.O. I'm like, man, this dude a sophomore in college. He got a baby. He what? I mean, he got to worry about his baby mama. Then he got to worry about school. Then he got to worry about competition in football. Man, how he do it, man? And I'm like, bro, he got supreme confidence. He carry himself, man. He a dog, bro. So I literally had to hang around those people because, I mean, I didn't have a dad growing up. And being on top of that, being in the suburbs, I ain't have Coach Ginn or someone to jump in my shit if I'm doing something wrong, or teach me how to be a man, to believe in yourself. Truly, my grandma did a hell of a job, but a woman can only do so much.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
Especially for a young kid. So man, I never told Tia, but I thank my circle in college. Reason why I'm still playing, the reason why I still go as hard as I do, because I know if T.O. had the opportunity that I've had, he would still be doing this.
Yeah, for sure.
If he would still be putting in the work. If Adonis had the opportunity that I have, and I'm talking about ball players that can play. I'm not talking about people that, just worked hard. And no, I'm talking about people that could actually strap them up and play on Sundays. I mean, I do what I do for them because, man, they don't know how much they've helped me in the early years when they were just being a friend, talking to me. Hey, T.O. used to keep it real. Nah, Kenny, that was some soft shit. I'm going to keep it real with you, Kenny. Nah, you wrong. or like, hey, bro, like you right, like this is it, like yeah, I feel you, but you know you can't complain about it. Like they really truly held me accountable. So honestly, say my younger self, believe in myself.
I got you.
Truly.
Last thing we got for you. Again, since we in Europe, we embracing the American football culture. What does the American football culture mean to you?
You said, what does it mean to me?
Yeah, what does the culture mean to you?
Man, life. American football equates to life, and what I mean by that is, it's just you and you on the field. You got an obstacle in your way. What are you going to do? Are you going to back down? Okay, let's say you don't back down and you get knocked down. Are you going to get back up?
Mm-hmm.
Football equates to life to me, because there's going to be times where you do everything right and you still might lose.
Right.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, that's
You can do everything right and still come out on the short end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
So it equates to life. Football is life, and that's how I play the game, and that's how I approach it, because, like I said, it's something I love to do.
Thank you guys for tuning in today with our interview with Kenny Stafford. We appreciate you guys' support and continuous viewership. Remember to download, like, and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us and like us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Continue to tune in every week as we bring you hot new content with new interviews every week.